organization will have the reactive or proactive. Second, this one, there is a notification about live stream. I think I have to. Okay. So
sorry, Bu Lanita, the webinar is live stream because the capacity is not enough for everyone, and there are many participants still coming in. So it's live stream.
Okay.
I hope you are okay with that.
Yes, sure. So reactive means comply with the regulation, implementing, and off-pipe technologies. Yeah. So a proactive means go beyond regulations, implementing voluntarily environmentally friendly practices. So this one is the difference between reactive and proactive. Reactive, it means just enough. Or that is there is a regulation, I follow the regulation, rather that I get a fine. Proactive, that no, I will do more to save the environment. That is proactive. Yeah. So let's see here. When we look at here, the pollution and the environmental problem, I pick up one industry, that is the tourism industry. Tourism industry has been concerned with the impact of its activities have on natural resources. So big impact on natural resources. Because the hotel and tourism industry significantly creates a negative impact on the natural environment in terms of water and energy consumption, biodiversity affection, and the use of non-durable products such as chemical, papers, and plastic. So we will see here what the hotel did. Can you see this one? Every day they have to wash the linen, wash the bed sheets, wash the towel. See how much water they consume for only washing, on top of showering, bathing, and cleaning. Energy, the electricity. See this one, if they have 20 towers, 15 20 levels, 15 floors, all are in bright at night. On top of air conditioning and other electricity devices. Swimming pool, that is a lot of consumption, a lot of water, especially if the weather is very hot, so the water is easy to be evaporated, and the swimming pool should be filled up all the time. So this one is the reason why today we talk about hotel industry. Yeah. Okay, now let's see here. Then what the tourism organizations should do then. Tourism organizations are encouraged to apply a proactive approach in protecting the environment from the effects of their business activities on the biophysical environment through the overconsumption of natural resources and waste production. Yeah, so tourism, because it's the worst industry, has a negative impact in the environment. So that's why they've been encouraged to apply a proactive approach in protecting the environment. So when we talk about proactive approach, then the manager will think, okay, that means I have to sacrifice in favor of profitability, because a lot of investments should be done. A lot of investments should be done. And ignore the environmental management practice, or what to do. So there is a dilemma for the manager. Have to do it or not to do it. Or just reactive, follow the regulation. If I have a proactive, go beyond it, then I have to satisfy the profitability. That is always the dilemma for the managers in terms of the environmental safety. Nowadays, there are a lot of hotels practice green because they just want to have the ISO, or they just want to get a certificate, or just they want to follow the regulation, whatever. Right? So what they have done, if you go to the hotel, then you will see all the notifications, or you can see the sign, or you can see little notes on your bed. Yeah, that they will try to reduce the water pressures in the hotel room, in the shower room. They also give a notification, does not change the towel every day unless you ask it, unless the guest asks it. Does not change the bed sheet every day unless it is asked. Usually that they will change it every 2 or 3 days. So if you stay in the hotel, even it's a 5-star hotel, if you stay for a week, for example, they just change on the 3rd days. And then when you check out, then they change it about another 3 days. Yeah. Use disposable utensils. Well, I experienced this one. Recently, I went to Bali and I say Westin Hotel is a 5-star hotel. Yeah, I also was surprised because the cups in the hotel room is a 5-star hotel. The cups is a carton cups. The spoon is from wooden spoon that is disposable one that I can throw it away. The straw is from paper straw. Accidentally, I put it in my my drink, and the paper becomes soft and then damaged because I did not realize that it was a paper. Okay, so this one is a disposable utensils. Provide a separate bin in the room. Yeah, there's a provide a separate bin in the room that is for recycling and then for the wet waste. And then fix the air conditioning room to a certain degree. This is our experience also, cannot be colder or cannot be, just fix that 23 or 26 degree, that's it. Yeah. Light automatically turn off, which makes sense when key card is taken off, which makes sense because we are not in the room. Why the lights should be on? And then they have a green environment and landscape. Yeah, so if before they have a very beautiful landscape with a green one, I mean the green, they reduce the green actually because they put papers or probably to reduce water for watering the plant. Yeah, so this is what hotels green practices nowadays. Now let's see here, result of studies. Does hotels green practice satisfy hotel guests? So, well, the hotels probably can reduce some money because this one, they didn't do, the water pressures in the room is lower, so they can save water, save costs. They can save costs to wash the towel, save costs to wash the bedsheet, save costs to wash the utensils, and the paper utensil is cheaper than the silver one. Provide a separate bin to easy to throw away, and fix the air conditioning, also save money for the electricity, save money for the electricity when the light automatically turn off, and save water for the landscape. So the hotel may save some money or improve the profitability. But the question is whether the customer happy with this. So I will provide two studies, which is taken from Spain, one, and the other is from United States. Okay, now let's see here. The results are inconclusive. Let's see here with the result. This one is one of study from Michaela, Irene, and Maria here. The effects of green practices on guest satisfaction and loyalty. So this one is the green practice. And then they have satisfaction, whether green practice improve customer satisfaction, and whether the customer satisfaction improve the word of mouth. That's warm, marketing people understand this, and also loyalty or revisit intention. So this model being controlled by types of travelers. So there are two types of travelers here, where one is leisure and the other is business travelers. So what is the result? So this one is a sample. This is the customer of 3 and 4 stars hotel with the age is older than 18. So this one is a screening. So the hotel is in Spain, and the sample size is 378 hotels, or 11 hotels, hotel guests, 378 hotel guests. And they have a face-to-face survey, that means face-to-face or interview, and then the data taken in 2016. And this one is the techniques. I will not discuss about the techniques. Yeah. Okay, now let's see here what are the results. Okay, so the results, the first one, hotel environment measures can increase guest satisfaction, leading to a significant positive relationship between green practices and customer satisfaction. So they are happy. So satisfied guests can be motivated to return to hotel on future trips and disseminate positive warmth. Okay, does this make sense? That the hotel guests happy with the green practice, and they like to come back to the hotel. Now, when we compare between the business travelers and leisure travelers, the positive effect of the hotel environment practice is stronger for business travelers. So business and leisure travelers has a positive impact on the satisfaction. Yeah. But the business travelers, the impact is stronger than the leisures. The results show only significant differences for intensity of the relationship between green practice and satisfaction, which is stronger for business guests than leisure guests. So why? Why business travel is more satisfied than the leisure one? So the paper explained that one possible explanation could be the fact that in daily lives, so daily life, it has an impact on their satisfaction. Business guests are more concerned about the environment than leisure effects on green practice on guest satisfaction and loyalty. One thing that we will highlight here, that daily life will have impact on the satisfaction. And also level of education and income may affect the awareness of the environmental safety. Why? Because the education and income may take all the businessmen to the higher education where they have to learn, or they learn about the environmental safety. That's why they have more awareness about environmental safety. So there are 3 things here that we talk: the daily life, level education, and income may affect the awareness of the environmental safety. When they are aware about the environmental safety, so they will be satisfied with the green practice of the hotel's green practice. Does it make sense? Okay. Now let's see here about another study. So another study is the title is the impact of green experience on customer satisfaction, evidence from TripAdvisor. Okay. There are 727 green reviews of the top 10 green hotels in the USA. And the data is taken from the TripAdvisor. We know that TripAdvisor is the biggest database, yeah, for hotels. So customers in this study are grouped into 4 groups based on the degree of concerns for the environment. So hunter green, green, light green, and not green. So the survey criteria comprise 2 main sections, the minimum practice and the advanced practice. Yeah. So we will see here that who will be happy, yeah, with the practices. So let's see here first, what are the minimum practice? So the minimum practices are general green practice, like the hotel environmental friendly in general, towel reuse, linen reuse, recycling, gas training are the minimum practice. Basic practice. Yeah, we call it as a basic practice or minimum practice. Well, advanced practices is more need more investment, like energy. Yeah, for example, the hotel use energy saving tools. Yeah, and then water. The hotel has a water saving program. Purchasing, the hotel purchase local produce food, organic products, or biodegradable products. Waste, the hotel has a waste conservation program. Site, the hotel has green roof, green landscape, and permeable paving. And education and innovation. So advanced practice needs more investment compared to the minimum practice. Minimum practice is only change the practice. If it usually wash the towel every day, now it's every 2 days. Change the linen every day, now change the linen every 3 days, for example. That is the minimum practice. Only change the practices or change the activities. Advanced practices, that is involve huge investment. Now let's see here what are the guests say about this. So overall, hotel guests perceive green practice in a positive way because the content analysis identified 661 positive and only 66 negative review. However, we want to see what are the negative one. So we will see here what are the negative from the guest point of view. The first one is the energy, water, and purchasing. We will see here purchasing is the highest negative comments. Then followed by energy and followed by water. The other for minimum practice like towel reuse, linen reuse, recycling, they are happy. They don't worry about that. Only 3 say negative or 2 say negative, it is okay. Right? So about the education, they like to get the education. Yeah. For the site and waste is okay, they can say yes. But that is here about purchasing. We will look at here. Usually, the results show that Hunter Green Group has the stronger concern and is willing to hunt for green products. This group of guest place put or places high importance on environmental benefits Yeah. So they expect green hotels to provide recycling bins and purchase organic products. So the overall results show that minimum practices cannot significantly influence satisfaction, where advanced practices is consistently significant satisfy customer. So this one is still like this. Minimum practice on they change the linen every 3 days, change wash the change the towel every 2 days. This does not make any effect. So that means that the customer may not say, not satisfied or not satisfied, or satisfied is not really a concern for them. But advanced practices, yes, that will be consistently significant satisfied customer for particular group. However, not all the guests. As we show here, not all the guests happy with the advances practice here. Although the number is small, we can say that is overall guests are happy with the advances at practice. But when we see here, so some guests actually not happy with this. So we will see here what customer mostly do not like. The first one is purchasing. So the customer do not like disposable utensils, plates, and cups. They like to have a silver one, especially if they're staying in a hotel, 5-star hotel, expect to have a silver one, at least stainless steel one, not silver, but not the paper one. Yeah. Quality of soap, shampoo, and towels. Usually they give like in the small bottles, yeah. But now they put it in the jar and hang it in the shower room. That is which is okay actually, because small bottles that is more damage the environment. However, the quality of soap and shampoo sometimes that is not a good quality. But this one is because the hotel tried to get more profit by providing low quality of soap. But the hotel can still have advanced practice by not providing shampoo in the small bottles or soap in the small bottles, but they still can provide a good quality of soap, shampoo, and towels. Water pressures in the shower was low. Yeah, sometimes that they very reduce a little bit or reduce a lot also sometimes the pressure of the water when taking shower. So most of the hotel now do not provide bathtub, but they have shower, unless that is a 5-star hotel. Even not all rooms in the 5-star hotel now has bathtub because they just want to save water. Well, for that point, it's okay. If you want to have a bathtub, it's just pay more. That's it. So energy, the room is too hot or too cold because they just set one temperature, for example, for the air conditioning. So some people probably that 26 degree or 25 degree is too hot, but another people probably 25 degree is still too cold. So in other words, they cannot adjust according to their preference. Or the light is too dim. So I went to a hotel also recently, and the light is like I'm staying in the pub because it's very dim. Even I cannot read it because it's quite dim. Yeah, probably that will be romantic, will be very romantic for young couple, but not for me, for because it's quite dark. Yeah. So this one is so guests may be willing to engage in green practice, but they do not want to experience low product quality, inconvenience, or discomfort. So it is implied in the review that guests prefer green in luxury format. So what the company has to do then? That is a lot of works. There's homework for the hotel industry to think how to do a advanced or proactive and doing of advanced practice in luxury format. Yeah. Now, what are the possible reasons of dissatisfying of this satisfaction? So the first one is, though hoteliers are familiar with green practice undertaken at the hotel, guests may not be well aware of them. Now, there are two sides here. The hoteliers, the owner of hotel, the management of hotel, and the guests. The hotel management clearly understand about the green practice because they get the training and they learn and they know how to obtain the certificate or whatever. Yeah, so they are very clear about that. That's why they practice the green. However, not all guests are aware of them. The guests may aware, but the guests not like it. Or the guests may not aware at all. Yeah. So also guests may care more about the hotel amenities than green practice. So some guests stay in the hotel, pay $200 a night, 2 million or 3 million rupiah a night, expect to have a very comfortable and luxurious room with all the amenities. Am I right? Yeah. Now, so that's why guests may focus on the hotel's physical environment, parking lot, Wi-Fi, television, and it is not. So guests may not concern about, oh, this one is the advanced practice, or this one is the minimum practice, but the guests will see what is the television, what is the air conditioning, what is the landscape. That's it. That is what hotel guests will think and will see. Because there are basic facilities that can directly influence the quality of their lodging experience. So if the guest does not have a very good lodging experience, they are not happy to stay in the hotel, well, they are not satisfied. If they are not satisfied, they will not come back to that hotel. Especially if they pay a lot of money. If you pay, just say it like this, if you pay small money for the hotel, we always say, well, it's cheap anyway, it's okay. But if you pay a lot of money, then you will say, I pay a lot of money, I want to get the best. That is very human being and very normal. So the third one is they may not be knowledgeable enough about green practice that the hotel is undertaking and may not be able to introduce green practice well to guests when they check in. So there is no explanation. So if you look at the hotel advertisement, yeah, in hotel.com or booking.com or Agoda, wherever that you look at that, not all the hotels show that what green practices that they have. Never they show it. Almost never they show it. So the guests will not know that the water pressure will be lower or the towel will be changed every 3 days, or will not know unless they can see the certificate of the green practice. If they do not see the certificate of green practice, the hotel guests will not know it until they come to the room. Yeah. So there is no enough knowledge about or understanding about the hotel practices. Now, the question is what to do? What to do? So the first one is to increase knowledge and awareness of environmental safety. By what? So the first one is education at school, workplace and workplace, education at school and workplace. That is very important since the child is very little. Yeah. Second, domestic practice at home and society. It's not only in the hotel domestic practice, but also at home and society. This becomes a habit. When someone has a domestic practice at home, that becomes habit. This is what we have to educate the children. They educate at school and then at home, and they will be educated at the workplace. Yeah. So hotel staff training, clear information from hotel. So the hotel staff get a very good training so they can transfer all the knowledge to the guests. Or enforcement by law, because have to follow the regulation. Now let's see here. Then those are about the result of the study. If you want to, if you want to extend the study, I have not explained about what is the result study in the Asian country. I believe that the results, the green practice and advanced green practice in a Western country like Spain and United States, the result of the study may be different if we apply that one to the developing country like Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, or wherever. Yeah. So if you want to do a research, you may think about this one, how you can extend this study, because this one, it will be a hot topic and easy to publish. Yeah. So, okay, now let's see here. Before I end my presentation, I want to show you how that the Australia actually educate people, educate children, and at school, at home, and also at workplace. So the environmental challenges and policy choices in developing countries will be different from developed country. Yeah. So whatever that you are doing that in the developing country like Indonesia will be different from developed country like Australia. Why? Because of the large informal economy, high level of poverty and inequality, weak capacity and resources for innovation and investment, as well as limited mechanisms for implementing environment-related incentives. So this one is the difference, because if we compare developed country and developing country, they have a different economic level, they have a different poverty level, and also capacity of resources of the investment and innovation. And one thing, different culture as well, and different habit. But habit, we can change that one. Okay, let's see here what Australian been done. This one is the bin. So every week, we will put the bin. So every household will get this bin free from the council, free. So the red one is for the garden, the green one is for the waste, the wet, like cooking stuff, and then yellow for the recycling, or different color, because different state has a different color. So we have a schedule. We have a schedule that, for example, at my place, every Tuesday, every week, the green one will be collected. Every 2 weeks, the yellow one will be collected. The red one will be collected every week, every Tuesday. So we know that Monday night, we put it outside, and then this one is the cart that will take. So there is no man to carry the rubbish and then put it in the truck, because that will be polluted. And with an open truck, all the rubbish when the truck is driven, that all the rabbits blow by the wind, go over everywhere. So this one, they put it and they compress it straight away. Okay, so there is no man touch the rabbits, because that will not be healthy also for the man who touch the rabbits. So they have this one, yeah, the cart that will go around the road on the scheduled time to collect the rabbits. So in the community, they have a different also different color of bin here. So usually this one in the apartment complex, because if this one is in the individual house, so this one is out in the ground house, and this one is in the complex apartment complex. So they just have it outside in the one corner, usually is near the gate, a different color of bin, and even a small children, they know what they have to put in the certain bin. They learn it from they were very little. So this one is the domestic product. They already know how to do it. Yeah. Okay. So another example of what Australia has done to save the environment. We are not allowed to use plastic plate, plastic cups, plastic spoon, plastic straw. I think Indonesia also practice this one. There is no plastic anymore, because the plastic is very dangerous for the animal. The animal may eat the plastic and die, so the wild animal will be in danger because of this plastic. Now, about this bottle and can, yeah, people drink a lot of Coke, people drink a lot of canned drink, so we can exchange the canned drink for 10 cents for each one. So there is a machine that you just put it one by one. The machine will take it and count it, and then you will get a voucher that you can cash it, or you can take it to the supermarket to buy chicken or whatever that you like to buy. I did this one because why not? If from the rabbits I can change this to the chicken, that is very good, right? Yeah. So that is they try to save the environment by not putting the plastic bottle or the can in the rubbish bin, but they can change it for money. This one, that usually they will put it, there is a collection point also that they can put it together, and someone will, usually this one is for the charity. Yeah. So, well, you can collect the money, sell the bottle or change the bottle for a charity. Doesn't matter. So also supermarket will not provide any plastic bag. We have to buy the plastic bag for 10 cents or 15 cents, or just bring your own bag. Yeah. So this one is what have been done in Australia. So again, even a small children already knows how to do it. That way, they will carry forward it when they grown up. Now, this one is the advanced one. Okay, so this one is the advanced one. Government solar rebates. So we can have a solar panel to produce the electricity, and the government give money for this. A lot of money, about 8,000, depends on the size of the panel that we buy, but it's mostly there's about 8,000 until 7,000 Australian dollar, which is equal to 70 million or 80 million rupiah. They provide this one. So they put it in the roof, and you can produce the solar for the electricity using at home. How wonderful. If the production of the solar is more than what you use for your household, the electricity company will pay you back. You will get money instead of paying. Isn't it nice, isn't it? So you can sell electricity from your solar panel. So this one is what the government now encourage people. The advertisement is everywhere. Even the government give a free loan to buy the solar panel and give a rebate. Yeah, free interest loan to encourage to use the electricity from the solar. Indonesia should be able to have this one because Indonesia has a full sun for 365 days, for example, except raining, but raining is still produce electricity though, the sun. So that will be a very good place to have a solar panel, but probably it takes time to have this advanced technology. And this one is already been since 2007. The government encouraged and also a compulsory for new houses in 2007 to have a rainwater tank. To rainwater tank, that is to collect water from the rain, from the gutter, to put it here. So how they use this one is for watering the plant, watering, washing the car, and also even for flushing toilet. So they use a rainwater tank. So there is a question here. How about if there is no rain, so we will not get water? No, there is a system. If there is no rain and the water level is go down beyond a certain point, then the water from the city will come in to that point. But at least we can save a lot of water because we can use rainwater instead of fresh water from the town. Yeah, okay. So this one is also an investment. Government also give a rebate for this and free interest loan. And this one is to encourage people when they buy the white goods or they buy the electricity equipments or washing machine or dishwasher or refrigerator, always look at the stars. So the stars of the energy rating and the stars of water rating. The price of this machine will be more expensive than the wasteful one, but that you later on will save a lot of water and save a lot of energy, which means that save a lot of money as well. So this one is about purchasing. And this one is how to do the air circulation for the house. They always encourage new houses, especially, they always have a very good insulation. So the insulation here is to stop the heat coming to the house. So the house will be cooler. So if the house is cooler, they don't need to turn on the air conditioning. So I see that is in Jakarta, even in my house also. The air conditioning is 24 hours, but we cannot avoid this one because the house is so hot. If we open the window, the dust comes. If we close the window, the room is quite hot, so there is no wind for this point. But if we put a good insulation here, so the room will be cooler. And this one we call it is as a wheelie bin. So this one is round by the wind. There is no electricity involvement. It will be turned like an exhaust fan to suck all the heat from the house out. Yeah, so this one is, we call it wheelie bin. So almost every house has this one. And this one, okay, so this one you can see this one. you can see this one. This one is a cooler, okay? Now, the cooler is usually instead of using air conditioning, they have a cooler on the top of roof, which is filled by water. So they fill the water and the water will cool the ceiling here and the room. Yeah. So this one is for the solar cooler. And this one is the solar hot water. So the hot water, they don't use the LPG or they don't use electricity. Of course, if they want to buy the electric hot water or the LPG hot water, they are available in the market here. But people are encouraged to have a solar hot water. So the question is, in winter time, if there is no heat, what should we do? Okay, there is a booster that we can turn on the heater inside this tube. So this one is the way that the government try to reduce the using of the electricity. Now, this one is what the students or the small children learn about the environment. This is very good one that I learned here when I arrived here. No feeding wildlife. So everywhere here, no one shoot the wildlife and kill the wildlife or kill the bird or whatever. Oh, that there will be jailed. If you kill wildlife, you cannot kill a wildlife here. So also we cannot feed the wildlife because the wildlife has their own body mechanism. They have their own food that they can, the human food may not be suitable for them. And also, if they get used to get food from people, they may not be able to find their own food later on. So that will kill them. So this one, even small children learn about this, no feeding. Yeah, so they cannot give any food to the wilderness. Yeah, sometimes they give it to the bird, but it's usually they just give a grain to the bird that is actually their own food. Or some shop provide the food for the bird or for the kangaroo or for the koala. They provide a proper food for them, for the children to feed. Yeah. And this one is very bad habit. If someone walk in a roadside or someone walk in the garden and for unknown reason pick the flower and then just throw it away later on. So that is damaging the environment. Why should we pick the flower when this is a flower is beautifully over there and we do not need that flower? Why we have to pick that one and then after that throw it away? Yeah. So this one that we learn also, I also learned that we should not do this one. Okay, so this one, all the examples of what Australian has protected the environment through the education at home, at school, and also at workplace and society. Okay, so this is all my presentation. So I do hope this one is useful for you. And I return the mic to Ibu Linda.
Thank you, Bu Lanita. So, students, if you like to have any questions and would like to say your question or mention your question by yourself, please feel free to raise your hand. Otherwise, just put your question or comment in the chat box, please. And we have one question from Jason, Bu Lanita. Jason,
Yes, I see
you
this
like
one.
to, yeah, like
I
to,
see this one is that I would like to ask, is it still beneficial for service industry companies such as hotel and food restaurants to apply green practice, as it may decrease the satisfaction on the customer and they may affect the industry? Well, yes, as I mentioned before, that the marketer or the hotel management has to find a way how that they can apply green practices, whether minimum green practice or advanced green practice, with a luxury form. So, for example, that instead of using a very cheap soap or low quality of soap or shampoo, they can provide a good shampoo, whether this is in the bottle, not in the small bottles, but hanging in the shower room, but it's okay if they can provide a very good quality of shampoo or soap, or a good quality of towel, a good quality of bed sheet and bedding, or they still give a very good quality of disposable utensil, for example. Still, there is a way that to satisfy the customer while practicing green. Did I explain to you, Jason?
Yes, it was pretty clear, Dr. Lanita, and yeah, I agree with your opinion and answer for my question.
Yeah, thank you.
thank you, Jason. Bu Lanita, while waiting for next question from students, I have some questions. So my question is, does green practices include waste treatment in hotels? And is there any students regarding waste treatment in the hotel?
Yeah, waste treatment in the hotel actually been regulated. In here in Australia, it's been regulated, but the hotel can do it by themselves because it's very affordable. For example, hotel usually has restaurants. Hotel usually has restaurants. So restaurants also have a lot of oil waste. They use oil. They never throw it away in the basin. They always put it in the special bin where there is somebody that will collect it every week and throw it away properly to somewhere else. So like in the house also, we never throw away oil in the, in the sink. In the sink, we never throw it away because that will go to the river and damage or pollute the river. So we never, even in my house, I never throw away oil in the sink. So always there is a special bin for the restaurant because the amount is a lot, and then they put it in a special bin where there is with a different color, of course, and then somebody collect it. So this one, that how they can manage the waste. So for the green waste, like vegetables cutting or fruit cutting, they have also a special bin to put that one because they will convert that to compost. There is another way. So that is what is the domestic practice as well, that we put all the green waste, we call it green waste, from the green cutting, vegetable cutting, fruit cuttings, to a bucket, a special bucket that's provided by the government. The government gave a rebate to produce compost for our garden, like that.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you, Bu Lanita. So allow me to okay, I think okay. No, sorry. So my next question is about solar panel because you shown us about the solar panel. So I have curiosity on solar panel also. Is there any subsidy from the Australian government for those who install the solar panel? Since we understand that it's quite pricey for install it, right?
Yes. There is a rebate nowadays. Actually, I want to put. Oh yeah, this one is a. I put this one as a rebate. So they put a rebate here. A rebate that means the government pay aspect. So is this expensive? About I had a solar panel about 10 years ago. That was very expensive, but now this is very it's much lower. It's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And the government gave a rebate. So for example, if you spend around 11,000 for 6.6 kilowatt, the government will give you 7,000 back.
Oh, okay, like a cashback.
Yeah,
And it will be
cashback. The
paid
government give a normally the contractor or the supplier of the solar panel will deduct it. They will get it from the government right away. So, but they give the calculation to us, so we know that how much is the government rebate, because the government will give the rebate based on the number of the panel that you buy, like that. I think as one panel, the government give about 850. So if you buy 10 panels, so the government will give 8,500.
Okay,
Mm.
that's quite interesting.
Yeah, that is the one that how the government, Australian government actually encourage people to have a solar panel so they can reduce the consumption of the electricity.
Yeah. Maybe that's why we can see that many houses in Australia have installed a solar panel, right?
Yeah, almost, because the electricity also very expensive here. But because of the government give support like this, and why don't we take this opportunity? Yeah, we are very happy, because if we don't use a lot of electricity and the solar panel actually produce more than what we use, we get money from the we call it like Indonesia is PLN. We get money back. We can get money cash in our account. So that is, we can sell the solar.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, colleagues and students, is there any question that you'd like to ask to Bu Lanita, Dr. Lanita?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I still have time.
Yeah. Okay, while waiting. So another curiosity. So you studied about green practices in Australia. So is there any study green practices in Indonesia, Dr. Lanita? So what is your opinion about the green practices in Indonesia? Is it still far away from the...
No, it's good. I have my one of my PhD student published in a very good journal about the green practice in Indonesia. So yeah, she published, but not really straight to the customer satisfaction like what I have provided here. But she also she studied about the mindset, how the mindset of the green practice. Yeah, so that is what like I explained. So the mindset can be improved of the awareness of the green practice or environmental safety through the education and habit at home.
Okay.
There is a study about that in Indonesia, but you still can have more studies, because mostly Indonesia has not been touched a lot by this study, and this topic actually is sustainable topic is still considering new, and a lot of journals like to publish this topic. So if you would like to do some research, I think that will be a very good research and very good topic.
Okay, I think so, Dr. Anita. I think so. I
Hmm.
will. I do have that plan.
Yeah, you can involve culture, you can involve about the knowledge, how they understand about the green practice, and how about the culture, about the education level, about the ethnicity probably. You can
Mm,
also put this one as a control variable on your research model like that.
mm.
So then you can see how does it go. Yeah, with them.
Yeah,
That will be
yeah.
a very good study, especially if you take it from hotel guests. That means the data collection will be much easier rather than you take it from your from the managers, hotel managers, because the
Uh,
number of hotel managers are limited and they are very busy people. But from the hotel guest hotel, you can find guest hotel more than the managers. So think about that if you want to do any study about this.
I will. I will. Thank
Mm.
you, Dr. Lanita. So here we have two questions, Dr. Lanita, from Andrea. Good afternoon, Dr. Lanita. I'm Andrea from Binusian 2023. I want to ask you regarding food waste in the hotel industry. How about the effort to manage food waste that have been produced by the hotel industry? Was there any effort to manage that? Thank you.
Hold a second. I just look at the question again.
Yeah, it's about
Andrea.
food waste
I
in
want to
hotel
ask you
industry.
regarding food waste in the hotel industry. How about the effort to manage food waste? Okay, this was a very good question. So I mentioned it before. They can put this one in the special bin for to convert the waste for as for compost. So that's why they never mix the bin or the rubbish, plastic and food like that. They never. Yeah, plastic, paper, carton. It will be different bin from the one that is with food, or we call it waste, wet waste. So they can convert it to a compost. But a lot of hotels now, especially for the buffet, they always put a rule: if they leave the food, then they have to pay. So
Okay.
yeah, this one is I give you examples in Germany. Actually, in Germany, if you go to the restaurant, and you order food, doesn't matter how expensive is the food, if you do not finish that food, you have to pay more. So there was a guest actually got so angry because they had to pay for the waste or the food that they left. And then the restaurant's owner said like this: well, you have paid this food. It's true that it's yours, but because you cannot finish that, you waste our resources. So you have to pay more. So this one is a rule to discourage people to leave the food. So just take it whatever that you need or you can eat and finish it up. So especially in the buffet restaurant, because usually people take as much as they can and then after that they don't finish it. It's
Yeah.
really a waste of resources. The
Yeah.
money is not a waste because you pay the same amount of money, but the resources, the effort, the energy that the people who grow the plants and the people that cook the plant, that is a waste, really a waste. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good practice.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
think,
It's that
yeah,
as people we never think about that. I did not think also like that until I evidence this by myself. When I was in Germany, there was a argue between a customer and the restaurant's owner because of that.
yeah, I just wanted to say that because I think it happens a lot in Indonesia that the restaurant or the hotel should be arguing with the customer because of this policy that usually the customer that they don't want to pay for the remaining food, and
Yeah.
it happens.
Here for the food that you pay $15, if you left the waste, you have to pay $20. Even it's more expensive than the food itself.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Yeah,
have to
it does make sense.
think twice before taking. You even with buffet, you can come back and forward to take more food, but finish it up.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, thank you, Andrea, for your question. So
Yeah,
the next
okay.
question is from Carolus. Good afternoon, Dr. Lanita. I'm Carolus from Yunus Alam Sutra. I'd like to ask about the towel that shouldn't wash every day. So what is the alternative to keep it clean without waste the water?
Okay, so now question. If you are at home, how often that you wash your towel? How often that you wash your towel? Every day or every
No,
3 days?
I don't think so. Yeah,
3 days or every week?
every week, once a week.
Once a week, Saturday, usually we wash it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the same practice, you can do it in the hotel. So what is the hotels doing? They always say that, okay, if you want to use the towel again, just hang it. If you do not want to use it, put it on the floor and we can change that. So some people think like that, I already pay a lot of money. I just want to have a fresh towel every day, right? But if you think it back again, how often that you wash your towel at home? It doesn't, it just take 2 days or 3 days, even a week. Why you do the same thing in the hotel to save the environment?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Carolus, for your questions. So next question is from Amanda. Good afternoon, Dr. Lanita. What is your opinion about PLN, the electricity generation company, that limit the use of solar electricity? PLN limits the installation of PLTS to only 15% of installed electrical power.
Well, this one is the policy of the PLN because of the capacity of the PLN itself. Because it's I think the mechanism is like this, if not mistaken. So whatever that is the solar produce, the electricity will be sent it back to PLN. So that is what my understanding. They send it back to PLN to pay your usage, like that. Or that is the way that it. So they will send it back to PLN to pay the electricity, the consumption of your electricity. So in my understanding, maybe the PLN or the Indonesian electricity suppliers still have the limitation to have a lot of a solar panel. So you know that if there is no limit, Indonesia has 260 population. That will be a lot of solar that it will be sent back to the PLN, and finally PLN has to pay them back because, and then there is no one that use the electricity from the PLN, so the PLN will be bankrupted. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the PLN has to pay back to pay the customer for the solar. If everyone there is no limit to have the solar, and then the PLN has to pay a lot of money to the customer, and no one will use the electricity from PLN. No one will buy the electricity PLN because they can use their own electricity from solar.
Yeah.
One day PLN will be bankrupt.
Yeah, I understand.
And here also there is a limit. A limit.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
this one is
I don't
also
know about
there is
that.
a limit. like my, because I have 4 people in the house, they limited, I only can have 6.6 kilowatt. So that means I can only have 24.6 kilowatt per day. The rest, if I use more than 24 kilowatt per day, I have to buy it from the PLN in Australian PLN. There is a limit
Oh,
also.
okay. That's
Depends
answer
on the
my
number
curiosity.
of people in the house, and also the space on the roof, and also whether you have a swimming pool or not. That is the considerable that. Because most of the houses here have swimming pool with consume of electricity. So having a swimming pool, it will be another priority to have a solar panel.
Oh yeah, that's answer my curiosity because before I curious about why all houses don't have like a full capacity of what they needed. Because usually they said, oh yeah, I have the renewable energy or the solar panel capacity for 60% or 50% of my like electricity needs, right? Something like that. But that's answer my curiosity.
Yeah, there is a rule. There is yeah. You can get 6.6. You can get 10.5. You can 12. Depends on the how big is your house, how many people in the house, and whether you have a swimming pool or not. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lanita. So Amanda here give us another additional information. Just for your information, the chairman of the Indonesian Solar Energy Association said that he often received complaints from both industries and household who felt that it was difficult for PLN to install a rooftop solar panel plant.
Well, probably because this one is a new thing in Indonesia. They not could yet get the scale to install the rooftop solar power plant. So, but pretty soon they can get the scale to do it. So, because this one is quite new in Indonesia, while Australia already have it 10 years ago.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah, so it's different though. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Amanda. We have another question from Reni. Good afternoon, Dr. Lanita. I want to ask about markup that usually happens in hospitality. Is it common or what do you think, Doctor?
What do you mean? Thank you, Reni. What do you mean by markup? The premium price, you mean?
Reni Christine, can you please open your mic?
Can you elaborate what is the markup you mean here?
Reni?
Yes, she is not here.
Okay.
We move to another question.
Okay, so I don't think we have another question here. Yeah. So, Doctor, in one of your slides about how to increase the knowledge and awareness of environmental safety, you mentioned about enforcement by law. Would you explain more about it?
Yeah, enforcement by law, that means that actually like increased knowledge and awareness of environmental safety, that is part of the curriculum. Yeah. And education at school is a part of the curriculum. So domestic practice is a habit or how the parents educate the children. There is no law for that. So if the parents do not, If the parents do not want to educate the children, there is no punishment for that. And hotel staff training is also about the management issue. But then enforcement by law, it means like this. For example, like if you put the bin, you know that I talk about the rubbish bin, that
Yeah.
we have a green rubbish bin and yellow rubbish bin.
Yeah.
For example, we cannot put the yellow about the sack or the sick plastic or carton in the green bin. If accidentally I put it there and was found by the collector, I will be charged a lot of money that have to pay. That is the enforcement by law.
Okay. Okay.
But again,
That's good.
like this one, when there is a sign, there is no feeding for the animal, but we still give food to the wild animal, and somebody found it and somebody reported, then we will be charged. And also another example, this one is another example. I should put this one. In here, if a lot of canals, a lot of ocean, right? We are surrounded by ocean and canals and water.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of crab, you know, mud
Yeah.
crab. We can take mud crab from the back house here, or in front of the house in the lake. We can get crab, but we cannot take female crab. Female crab with the egg inside, we have to release it back to the water. If we are known or caught that we took a female crab, you may have to pay $5,000.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
That is enforcement by law. Or if you do fishing, there is a rule that you cannot take the fish is less than 10 centimeters or whatever. If you still take that fish, the small fish, and you do not release it to the water because it's too small, then you will be charged as well. So that one is the enforcement by law. So because of the enforcement by law, people will learn, right? Will learn, will understand, or will learn from the charging. So that's why that if just say that if you were charged because of you took a female crab, another day you would not do it anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You said, okay, I will not do it again. I do not want to lose $5,000 because of one crab. Eh?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one is the enforcement by law. So the law will educate people as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting because I think in Indonesia it's quite popular that we prefer to eat or to have a crab with the egg inside.
So do I. But I get
even
I just can
the price
eat
is
it
more
in
expensive.
Indonesia.
Yeah. Okay.
I only can eat in Indonesia. In here, we cannot. All the restaurants, if the restaurants sell the female crab with the egg inside, or whether there is an egg or not, but female crab, the restaurant will be closed forever.
Okay. Good to know about that. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Lanita. So we have the next question from Ranlan. Good afternoon, Dr. Lanita. I'm Ranlan from Binusian Accounting of master degree. I want to ask about how to carry out green practices in rural areas, especially environmental pollution because of the poor infrastructure in rural areas, such as littering and etc. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the questions. Okay, for the this one I read here.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is Indonesia.
Yeah.
How to carry out green practice in rural area, especially environmental pollution because of poor infrastructure in rural areas such as it. Well, this one is depends on the people. Depends on the people. What rural area probably that we cannot have a big investment or advanced green practice like solar panel, or we cannot have like the expensive things, right? But we still can have the minimum practice. The minimum practice is like not littering, or we do not put the rubbish in the river. We do not put the rubbish in the improper place, for example. That is depends on the people who live in that area. It's not because of the facility itself, but it's because of the people itself. Where the people now about the people has to have awareness. So where the awareness come from, the people should be educated and has understanding about the environmental safety.
Yeah,
That is
agree.
my answer. It's not always the facility. We do not need to practice a green. We do not need to have an expensive facility, but it comes from ourselves first, how that we can save the environment.
Yeah, agree. Agree, Dr. Lanita. Thank you. Thank you, Hendra. Thank you, Ranlan, for the question. So the next question is from Hendra. Good afternoon, Dr. Lanita. I'm Hendra, Binusian 23. I want to know about your idea and opinion for Indonesian scheme to save Indonesia fresh air. There are two big issues right now in climate change. One is carbon trade, save our big forestry to save more oxygen. And number two is to, sorry, someone, please mute yourself. Yeah, okay, thank you. And number two is put the higher carbon tax in our vehicle. Maybe Dr. Lanita can choose or have more ideas or idea suitable for Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Hendra, for the questions. Well, if there are two issues here, the first one is carbon trade. Save our big forestry to have more oxygen. So this one is about the government policy, how the government will save the forestry, because usually the company, like a palm oil company, they just want to burn all the forest just to get a clean land for planting or something like that. So this must be, there is an enforcement from the government. So how the government will do the enforcement, this one is their job. And then also about the carbon tax. Here in Australia, we also have the carbon tax in our used vehicle. So again, this one is to go for government regulation about the carbon tax in our in the vehicle. But I agree with this one. I agree with the carbon tax in vehicle. So if we look at Singapore, for example, Singapore tried to reduce personal car. Singapore tried to reduce people to buy car. So not only the carbon tax, but in Singapore, if you have a car more than 5 years, because more than 5 years car that is usually is more polluted than the new one, then you have to pay more tax for the car. So this is really discourage people to buy a car, or if they want to buy a car, buy a new car. However, the government also give another support to compensate this one. So the public transport in Singapore is quite good, quite very good. So it's people actually do not need to have a car. So this one is should be hand by hand that is organized by the government for this, because we cannot just put one policy and then we do not know how to solve what the impact of that policy. Like a carbon tax, if there are carbon tax that people probably that will not be able, not all people that can buy car now, or less people can buy car because of the tax. But if they cannot buy car, is there any alternative how they can commute, go to work, or to go to somewhere else? Is there any good public transportation, or what they can do with hot car? Did I answer the questions?
Thank you, Dr. Lanita. Yeah. So maybe I can say that the public transportation in Indonesia, especially Jakarta, is getting better because now we have MRT, LRT, and integrated mass transportation. But maybe it's not enough yet, but we are getting there.
Yeah. I agree with you. Jakarta is much better now, and I'm sure because people, it's better to take a public transportation rather than have to be hours and hours in the traffic jam if they drive a car. Plus parking also very expensive. Yeah. So probably Indonesia, Jakarta will get better and better. I'm sure.
Yeah. It's getting better. Okay, so there is no other question. So thank you, Bu Lanita, for beautiful and insightful presentation of green practices and customer satisfaction. So we now know green practices at the hotels and hotels guest perception and satisfaction on these green practices. It's always nice to actually hear something insightful. And your idea certainly sparked a lively question among all of the participants. Okay, so on behalf of School of Accounting, Bina Nusantara University, I'd like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Lanita Winata that has shared his knowledge to enlighten our understanding of green practices and customer satisfaction. Before we end the session, please allow me to give the certificate of appreciation to Ibu Lanita. Allow me to read it for you. The certificate awarded to Dr. Lanita Winata, MBA, CPAA, Australia, CPA, Griffith University, Australia. As speaker of international webinar, Green Practices and Customer Satisfaction on 1st of October 2022. School of Accounting, Binus University, Angswat Lindawati, SE, MCOM, PhD, SCSR, SCSA, CMA, CERDA, Dean of School of Accounting. Okay, so Bu Lanita, I will send the certificate file by email next week. Okay, students, let's give applause and give virtual applause so you can, or you can also open your camera to show our respect and appreciation to Dr. Lanita Winata. Thank you, Dr. Lanita.
You are welcome. Thank you very much for the time and also for your patience to listen my presentation. It's it's my pleasure to give a presentation to you, and you are very active to ask questions, which is I'm happy with it. So I do hope that next time I can meet you again at the different occasion, different presentation, or maybe if I have a chance to go to Jakarta and see you physically over there.
We'd love to, Dr. Lanita. Okay, thank you. I'd like to thank to all students that have lively participated and engaged in the Q&A session. We have shared attendance list in the chat room. Okay, so now I hand over the session to Jason. Jason?
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Linda, for moderating this event. And it's truly an honor to have Dr. Winata to talk and provide us with insightful and innovative knowledge during this webinar. Thank you very much. Before we close the event, I would like to invite everyone to turn on your cameras since we will take photos of all of us. So give us your best smile. We will wait for a while for the participants to open their camera. Okay, so we currently have 20 slides. Yes, Kia will help us to take the picture.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Maybe all of the participants can on cam for a second because we want to take a picture for documentation. I start from the first slide, slide 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next slide, slide 2, 1, 2, 3. Next slide, slide 3, 1, 2, 3. Slide 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next slide, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next slide, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next slide, 1, 2, 3. Next slide, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next slide again, 1. Next slide again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next slide, 1, 2, 3. Next slide, 1, 2, 3. And the last slide, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that's all.
Okay, so
Jason.
I should be
Okay,
leaving
yes.
now. So once
Thank you,
again, thank
Kia.
you, and see you later.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Mary.
Lanita. Thank you,
Yeah,
students.
bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Kia. The photo session marks the end of this event. After the Zoom session, please give us your valuable feedback and submit your summary for today's webinar with the link that will be sent to you via email. Thank you very much for attending and participating actively in this webinar, everyone. I'm Jason. Good afternoon, and see you on the next event.